if Terence Crawford moves up to fight Canelo, it's going to be a worse fight than fucking Charlo running around Canelo by murder against Crawford. That shit wouldn't happen. They have weight classes for a reason.
Boxing fans are buzzing over the possibility of Terence Crawford stepping up to challenge Canelo Alvarez in what could be a historic showdown. Scheduled around the Cinco de Mayo weekend, the proposed bout has ignited debates about whether Crawford, an undefeated four-division world champion, can handle the size and power of the reigning super middleweight king, Canelo Alvarez. The weight disparity has sparked widespread concern, with boxing legends and professionals voicing doubts about the fight's feasibility. Crawford, known for defying odds throughout his career, now faces critics who fear the matchup might tarnish his perfect record. They have weight classes for a reason, some have warned, underscoring the physical disadvantage Crawford would face against the seasoned Canelo. Roy Jones Jr., a Hall of Fame fighter and respected boxing analyst, weighed in on the hypothetical matchup. "I like Terence, but I'm going to lean toward Canelo because of his size. If Terence can deal with that, he has a chance to win. But Canelo's power is a game changer," Jones explained in an interview with Mill City Boxing. He emphasized the importance of Canelo's striking power as a decisive factor, noting,
Canelo, they
want to see it. Crawford cares about his life. And with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo fighting Crawford and Crawford beats Canelo? What do that do for Canelo?
"We haven't seen Crawford hit with that kind of power. If you can't hurt him, you can't change his fight plan, and that's where the trouble begins." Crawford's technical brilliance and adaptability have earned him praise, but the task of neutralizing Canelo's power is no small feat. Jones acknowledged Crawford's potential to make history, saying, "If Terence can avoid those devastating punches and impose his boxing skills, he could pull off the upset. However, the size advantage and punching power that Canelo brings to the ring make him a daunting opponent." Canelo, meanwhile, appears unfazed by the prospect of fighting Crawford. The Mexican superstar reportedly sees little to gain from the matchup, stating that a victory over Crawford wouldn't significantly enhance his legacy. While Crawford is willing to climb 2 weight classes to face the super middleweight champion, Canelo seems more focused on his upcoming bout and remains non-committal about Crawford's challenge.
That there are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight.
Roy Jones Jr. also speculated on other potential opponents for Canelo, such as David Benavidez. Benavidez throws a lot of punches, and power can change everything. "If Canelo can't hurt him early, I don't see him winning that fight," Jones said in a BoxingScene.com interview. Benavidez, a 2-time 168-pound titleist, has been clamoring for a fight with Canelo for years, presenting another intriguing option for the Mexican star. As speculation around the Crawford-Canelo fight continues to swirl, the matchup remains a dream scenario for fans. With Crawford's undeniable skills and Canelo's proven dominance, the potential clash could be one of the most talked-about events in boxing history.
Boot time to take over and start beating the guys around him. He's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
For now, the boxing world can only wait and see if this blockbuster bout will come to fruition. Roy Jones Jr. believes that if anyone can make it happen, it's Terence Crawford. "You can't tell him no," Jones said, reflecting on his own career, where he fought opponents far above his natural weight. "I was the kind of guy who, if someone said they were better than me, I'd close the gap and step up. I gave John Ruiz 33 pounds when I won the heavyweight title in 2003. I didn't care. I wanted to prove I was the pound-for-pound best and do something historic."
Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble.
Jones thinks Crawford shares that same mindset. That's probably how Bud feels right now. He wants to do something historic to solidify his legacy in boxing, Jones continued. "Who wouldn't want to see the pound-for-pound best from yesterday fight the pound-for-pound best from today? It's a mega fight." Jones expressed confidence that if Crawford gained the necessary weight, he could pull off the win. "If he can put on the muscle, how can you doubt him? One thing for sure is that he's gonna fight, not just collect a paycheck."
If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, "Okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done."
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win.
He's going out there to win because that's who Bud is. If he carries the weight well, it'll be a good fight. He's a technician like Floyd Mayweather, and he can fight. He hits and doesn't get hit. If he can take the punches at that weight, he's got a good chance of winning. Jones, who fluctuated between weight classes during his career as a 4-division world champion, also weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's career trajectory, advising him to stay at super middleweight.
Big for Crawford, I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shot, but I think Canelo's no big. His shoulder tonight is pretty big. So I probably would rather see.
It's best for Canelo to stay at 168, Jones said. I didn't understand why he moved up to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was past his prime. Bivol was in his prime. They're two different animals. He got Kovalev at the right time, so now go back to 168 and dominate. Don't try another move, because lightning doesn't strike twice. Andre Ward, a former 2-week world champion, has also weighed in on the potential super fight between Canelo and Crawford.
Charlo will fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right.
Ward, who retired with an undefeated record, has been vocal about Crawford's aspirations to fight Canelo ever since Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. I want to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford or David Benavidez, Ward said on the All the Smoke podcast. You've got two options. Fight someone in your weight class or pick on the smaller guy, Terence Crawford. Ward also praised Crawford's skills, calling him one of the best fighters today. I'm not betting against Terence right now against anybody. He's the most skilled fighter in the game, Ward said. Crawford is someone you can bet your house on. His mentality and heart are different from most fighters. There's not a lot of guys like him. He's a dog. That's the stuff that gets me out of my seat. Shakur Stevenson, who refers to Crawford as his big brother, also weighed in, despite Crawford's 14-pound weight disadvantage to Canelo. Skills win fights, not size, Stevenson said, adding that Crawford's southpaw stance, movement, and fundamentals would give him the edge over Canelo.
He'll probably win the fight.
I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand?
That fight will go Crawford and
Crawford won a pound better fighter.
Stevenson believes Crawford has the perfect formula to beat Canelo if they ever meet in the ring. As Crawford continues to consider his next steps, the question remains, will the super fight with Canelo Alvarez happen? Boxing fans are eager to see how this potential clash of pound-for-pound titans unfolds. Shakur Stevenson recently spoke about Terence Crawford's dominance in the world of boxing, emphasizing that Crawford is currently the one to beat. Stevenson, who knows Crawford's capabilities, said,
I can bet the house on is Bud. Because me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like soon as I see this dude,
Crawford is running things right now, asserting that the Nebraska-born boxer is in a class of his own. Stevenson also shared his desire to see Crawford face Jermell Charlo, although Charlo is already scheduled to fight Canelo Alvarez. Despite Charlo's upcoming challenge, Stevenson firmly believes that Crawford could defeat Canelo. Stevenson elaborated on how Crawford's style would make the fight difficult for Canelo. As a southpaw with great movement and solid boxing fundamentals, Crawford would make it tough for Canelo to walk him down and unload his powerful hooks. I genuinely believe Crawford can beat Canelo. Stevenson added that he doesn't believe size determines the outcome of a fight, but rather skill. I don't think size wins fights, skills do, he said, suggesting that Crawford's technical prowess would give him the upper hand.
We so much alike in our mentality. Like soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball.
Meanwhile, the boxing world is abuzz with the prospect of a mega showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. This potential matchup is being touted as one of the biggest in recent years, especially with Saudi Arabia's involvement in boxing, which makes such a high-profile fight seem more possible than ever. Trainer Robert Garcia recently weighed in on the fight, expressing that while Crawford is one of the most skilled fighters of this generation, Canelo could have the physical advantage. Garcia, however, was also candid about Crawford's situation, explaining that if Crawford doesn't get a fight against Canelo soon, he could retire. In an interview with Fight Hype, Garcia explained, Crawford has already achieved everything he set out to do in boxing. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. He's done it all. He wants that big fight against Canelo to solidify his legacy, and if he doesn't get it, he might never fight again.
Wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn.
Garcia went on to say that Crawford has already secured his financial future and has investments backing him up, so money isn't the driving factor for the fighter. According to Garcia, Crawford's only motivation now is to face Canelo and cap off his career on a high note. He's already set for life financially, Garcia said. Crawford doesn't need to fight just to please the fans. If he doesn't get the fight against Canelo, it's likely he'll walk away. Garcia also pointed out that Crawford has options in the junior middleweight division should he decide to continue his career. Potential opponents include World Boxing Council.
Like I've been saying, I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. Yeah, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it'd be hard for Canelo with that high guard to walk him down and load up on them big hooks. I think Bud would be Canelo.
And World Boxing Organization champion Sebastian Fundora, International Boxing Federation champion Bikram Murtaza, as well as rising stars like Jermell Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Serhii Bohalk, and Xander Zayas. However, despite these options, Garcia stressed that Crawford's focus remains on securing the high-profile fight with Canelo. Garcia's prediction for the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford is that Crawford could hold his own for several rounds. I think the first 6 to 8 rounds would be competitive, Garcia stated. Crawford has the skills, the speed, and the strength to make it a tough fight for Canelo.
Who knows? Now, Smiles telling me something else, bro. I think it might be on the line, no?
I'm just saying, man. We can't say it's not going to happen. We can't say that it is.
He can earn Canelo's respect, but eventually, I think Canelo's size and strength will come into play. Garcia acknowledged that while Crawford could put on a great performance, Canelo's physicality might eventually prove too much. Canelo is just too big, too strong, Garcia said. But I think it would be an entertaining and competitive fight, for at least the first half. I think the only person that can beat Crawford at this point is Crawford himself, Bradley told Fight Hype recently. He praised Crawford's skill, stating, "Skill for skill, Crawford is the better fighter. I think he'll do well against Canelo. Would I be nervous if they fought? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch, and it only takes one big shot."
Because the way Crawford is doing it is because he knows it's the biggest payday in his life, and he'll never, maybe what he could get against Canelo, he's never made in all his fights combined.
But if Crawford uses his legs, his defense, and his athleticism, he should be able to avoid those big shots and win the fight. Bradley went on to compare Crawford to Floyd Mayweather Jr., who defeated Canelo in 2013 when the Mexican fighter was just 22 years old. "I think Crawford could outbox Canelo in a similar fashion to what Mayweather did," Bradley said. Despite Crawford's age, he's nearing 37, and lack of experience at 168 pounds, Bradley is confident in his skill set. "Crawford has the ability to outthink and outbox Canelo," he continued. "As long as he doesn't get hit too much, uses his legs, and avoids Canelo's power, I believe he can win." However, Bradley is also aware of the risk involved. Canelo can hit hard, and we saw how Charlo struggled with him, Bradley acknowledged. Crawford is moving up in weight, and while he's a skilled fighter, Canelo is a dangerous opponent. But Crawford is different. He's competitive, and he's hungry for greatness. Bradley believes that Crawford's mentality sets him apart from others, particularly Jermell Charlo, who fought Canelo and was criticized for not fully challenging him. So is Jermell Charlo, who fought Canelo and was criticized for not fully challenging him. "Charlo didn't show up to win that fight," Bradley stated. "He didn't want to risk being knocked out, but Crawford is daring to be great.